Hi there. Welcome. Come on in and get yourself nice and comfortable. And how are you today? Okay. Well, the reason that you're seeing me today is that you did way better than average on our baseline tests. So, what we're going to do now is just test a little further and see where you're at with ESP, intuition, psychic abilities, all sorts of things like that. It's really rather exciting. You should be excited about this process too. If it turns out that you seem to have a gift for this, well, I'll tell you when we get there. Here's what we're going to do. I'll talk you through the test so you know what's coming, although if you're a little psychic you might be able to tell me. We're going to first look at some Zener cards. They'll be familiar to you, certainly from previous tests, just to make sure I have a good baseline. Then we're going to do some second sight testing, little precognition, little object energy reading. I'm particularly interested in that. Some impulse interference, and then finally mental sound recognition, so not actual sounds, sounds that I'd like you to imagine. So I'm going to be asking you all sorts of weird and wacky questions, and all I ask is that you do your best. How does that sound? Well, if it's okay with you, we'll get started. Going to begin with some Zener cards. Let me show you them. Have you seen these before? Lots of different shapes. I'll show you all the different ones. There are some wavy lines, a star, a cross or a plus sign, a square, and a circle. But you won't be able to see which card I have in front of me. But what I will do is I will look at the card, so for example, the cross, and I will try to project that into your mind. You have a guess, and I'll tell you if you're right. So one more time on these shapes. It's a cross or a plus. A square. A circle. Some wavy lines. And a star. Just like you. So let me mix these up. We'll have a few goes at these. You have performed very well in the past with these, so we'll see if it's skill or luck. So, the first shape I am looking at. Tell me what it is. Okay. I'll make a mental note of the ones that are right and wrong. I'll make a note at the end. The next shape. What's that one? These lovely, lovely wavy lines. Next. It is the star. give them another shuffle. What's next? The cross. 3 more. The square. Interesting. And finally, once again, those wavy lines. So that's really just my baseline readings. A test that you're aware of, a test that you're happy with. I'm going to keep hold of my clipboard now because I'd like to test that second sight. I'm going to hold up behind my clipboard 3 objects, one at a time. And I'd like you in your mind's eye to see what they are. Not a problem if you don't get it right. A little hint, some of these you can find outside. So, behind my clipboard is the first object. Imagine you can see through my clipboard. If you could, what would you see? Did you say a feather? Couldn't quite hear you. I was busy concentrating on the clipboard. Apologies. One down, 2 to go. Okay. Holding the next item. Imagine you can see through my clipboard directly to what's in my hand. What can you see? Some rope. Handy for all sorts of things. And finally, this is a bit of an easy one because there are 2 or 3 answers that I will accept for this one. Imagine one more time that you have extra special powers and you can see right through my clipboard. What's in my hand? Now this is a brooch, however, it is in the shape of a leaf. I would accept a brooch, leaf, pin, anything like that. Second sight, done. Next, a little precognition. 2 things we're going to use. coin and a comically large deck of cards. But rather than flipping a coin and asking you heads or tails, I'm going to ask you to guess 3 in a row before they happen. Now, this coin is slightly different to normal currency. It has yes written on one side and no written on the other, to help make decisions if nothing else. So I will flip the coin, put it onto the back of my hand and cover it. You tell me yes or no. But before I do, I'd like 3 answers. So for example, you'll try and predict the future, close your eyes and say yes, no, no, for example. And we'll see how you do. So, what do we think? There's the coin one more time. Let's have your 3 future predictions. Sure? It's absolutely fine to change your mind. Okay, first one. Ready? The first one, look, it says yes. Again. The second one says yes as well. Here we go. Final one. Ooh. 3 yeses in a row. Yes, yes, yes. Just like what brought you here. Marvellous. Next, the rather large playing cards. I'm simply going to take the top card. To begin with, I'd like you to tell me if it's going to be a red card or a black card. But 3 again. So you might say black, red, black, or a variation thereof. Let's hear it. Sure? Okay. So card number 1 is red. The second card is also red. Third card is black. Let's make it a little trickier this time. Tell me what number the card is, or ace, jack, queen, king, of course, but not just this one, the next 3. Okay, ready? First one is a queen. Next, another 3. And following that, a 5. This time, I would like the suit. Diamonds, hearts, clubs, or spades, please. But for the next 3. Okay, sure. Wonderful. So, your first card is a club and another 3. 3's everywhere today. Your next card is a spade. And the final card, another club. Oh, that's definitely better than average. Very tricky. Finally, I'm going to cut the cards in half. Tell me, red card or black card? Red. I could play that game all day. Something a little different next. Not quite a game, still something quite fun. I'd like you to try and read the energy of an object, and all I mean by that is tell me a little about its story. Imagine in your mind where it's come from, who it belonged to, where it's been, where it might be going. I have 2 items to show you. I'll show you the item for a moment. You can take a look if you like. And then I'd like to hear the story. So, here is your first item. It is a ring. Take hold of it for a second because it's quite heavy, yes, and cold. Take it back. Thank you. What do we think? The provenance of this ring. Where has it come from? Who did it belong to? What is its story? Tell me the story of the ring. Goodness. Stop you there. Wonderful detail. One more item. A key. A great big key. The size of it. Tell me about this key. What does it unlock? Where does it belong? Where has it come from? Where is it going? Tell me about this key. Let me stop you there again. You are scarily accurate. Well done. Next, a little impulse interference. It's easier than it sounds. I'm going to put on some gloves. A blue one and a pink one, bluey purple. I'm going to hold up my hands, and I would like you in your mind to decide which one to move towards you. I will decide as well, but we will see which one moves. So you will be thinking blue glove or pink glove, and see if you can interfere with the impulses of my hands. So now you've had time to take a look. Blue glove, pink glove. Move one towards you in your mind. And again. Again, please. And again. Twice more, please. Last time. That was cheating. Thank you. Take those off. Okay. Almost there. The last test is some mental sound recognition. Rather than hearing a sound, I'd like you to imagine it in your mind. There are 3, but for the first one, I'll show you the object I would like you to imagine to help you hear it in your mind, okay? So, here's the first object. It's a tuning fork. Hear it in your mind. Good. The next is a bell. Imagine the ringing of a bell. Hear it in your mind. You should be hearing this nice and clearly. And finally, a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Well indeed. What a fun little game that was. And of course you'll know by now that I wasn't interested in the results of any of these tests. I was watching to see when you could start hearing my thoughts. And you did a wonderful job of hiding it at the beginning. But my friend, that is what makes you absolutely special. And I'm able to tell you what it is you'll be going on to do next. In fact, let me start by saying you're very, very important to us indeed.
Who is that? What just happened?
Wait,
What's happening?
are they your thoughts?
Wait, who is that? Who is that?
They don't sound like your thoughts. They're certainly not my thoughts.
What just happened?
What's happening? What's going on? If they're not your thoughts, and they're not my thoughts, then whose thoughts are they?